Úi rồi. Ok. Hello mọi người. Rồi, hôm nay mình là một ngày siêu mệt mỏi của mình. Trời hôm nay ở Sydney thì không những lạnh mà còn mưa, mà lại còn kiểu u ám. Nói chung là một ngày rất là thích hợp để tự kỷ. Ở trong lúc tự kỷ thì mình làm gì? Chúng ta đi chơi game thôi.
Strawberries! Get your delicious strawberries here!
Ok, mình quên mất hôm qua mình chơi đến đâu rồi. Hôm nay mình phải làm gì? Rồi, mình phải nói chuyện với chồng của... Hôm qua là mình... bà Alice Alice Asher thì bị giết. Và mình đã thu thập được một vài chứng cứ. Thì bây giờ chắc là mình là...
Is not in any condition to be questioned. I have to find a way to sober him up.
Ông ta phải tìm cách để đánh thức ông này dậy à? Chắc là dội nước vào người chứ còn sao nữa.
Mrs. Asher lived very simply.
Hả? Làm nào để đánh thức thằng kia dậy? Nó cho tao biết làm thế nào để đánh thức. Dậy đi. Đây là chồng của bà Alice đúng không? Find way to sober up France. Để tát cho vài phát. Đây bây giờ nó không cho mình làm gì? Mình đang đi đâu và về đâu?
Nothing suggests any sign of a fight. Is not in any condition to be questioned. I have to... The priority is to question Asher. The priority is to question Asher.
Mình tìm cái này rồi. Hold on. Trời, bây giờ tức là phải được 20. Làm nào để waken thằng kia dậy? Cho tao tí clue đi mày. Giờ vừa mới vào chưa gì là đã thấy khó rồi đây.
The priority is to...
Ngoài đây có cái gì để đánh thức thằng kia dậy không? À đây.
I'll just borrow your bottle a moment.
Take it. It's what Alice used to sober up her husband. But try not to empty the bottle.
Đúng là mình kiểu... Trời ơi, thông minh quá. Rồi bây giờ có để... Có chai giấm để đánh thức thằng kia dậy rồi.
is not in any condition. Mes amis, I can say without a doubt that poor Mrs. Asher was killed between 5:30 and 6.
Killed when the street was packed with people. That's rather bold.
I've been talking to the neighbours and...
No one's seen anything? Or rather, it's anything and everything. Am I wrong?
No.
Yeah. We must grill this villain Asher before he falls asleep again. This man is in rather a bad state. This man has been fighting and he smells of alcohol. Care for a cigarette, monsieur?
What's that? Scented cigarettes? No, thanks.
Bien. I was trying to be friendly, but you are quite right. Let us get down to business. You threatened to kill your wife, and now she is dead.
So what? You shouldn't take things so seriously, sir. Nothing but empty threats. We didn't get on all that badly.
So, if things were going so well with your wife, why did you not live with her?
She was the one that left. Nothing to do with me, sir.
Ah, women are flighty creatures. Did she run away with another man?
Flighty? You talk funny. One thing for sure, if my wife was seeing another man, I'd have given her a good beating.
Interesting. And what were you doing yesterday at the end of the afternoon?
Can't recall.
Come on, my friend. Try to remember. It is important.
I'm really sorry, sir, but I don't remember a thing.
I see. But maybe you do remember threatening to kill your wife?
So what? You shouldn't take things so seriously, sir. Nothing but empty threats. We didn't get on all that badly.
Are you often involved in fights?
I don't know what you mean.
Bây giờ chọn cái phương án nào đây?
The truth is that someone gave you a good beating.
A beating? No way. All right, he tore my coat and gave me a black eye. You see the state of him?
Very interesting. Who is the other that you struck?
Probably best if I tell you everything. Yesterday afternoon, I met Roderick Tanner. We'd bet on a dog fight together.
An illegal bet, naturally.
Yes, sir. Our dog won. Roderick got the money, but he refused to give me my share.
And you fought about it. What time was this?
In the evening, about 6, I think. We were on the other side of town. You see, I couldn't have killed my wife.
Thằng này có alibi rồi.
Asher's alibi appears to be confirmed. All the same, I'm going to call and check that he did have a fight with this Tanner on the afternoon of the murder. You can never trust this sort of chap.
One thing is certain, Asher was a ruffian who used to beat his wife.
But he's not very educated. It certainly was not him who wrote the letter signed ABC. Let's resume, Hastings. We know the murderer pretended to be a customer. He did not kill her for money, that appears to be certain.
I agree with you on that point.
And the murderer left an ABC guide as a signature. Therefore, it's likely he wrote the letter.
Indeed, but that doesn't explain why and how he did it.
You are quite right. Why he did it is a mystery. But as for how he did it, we do know enough to try and reconstruct the events. The killer enters the shop. Mrs. Asher turns around to greet a customer. The murderer asks her for some tobacco. She turns her back to him. He seizes the opportunity to strike her.
He then places the ABC on the counter before leaving.
The ABC was not found like that. We are not far from the solution, Hastings. Would you mind if we thought about it a little more?
Tức là cái sequence vừa rồi là không phải à?
The killer enters the shop. Mrs. Asher turns around to greet a customer. The murderer asks her for some tobacco. She turns her back to him. He seizes the opportunity to strike her. He then places the ABC upside down before leaving. Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Kiểu mình tưởng là cái turnaround đấy là gì nhỉ? Là thằng ấy nó quay đi ý, nó đi luôn ý, chứ không phải là nó đặt cái quyển xuống.
Asher has a strong alibi and we don't have any other suspect. But what was the point of this crime?
She had no debts. She gave Franz Asher money regularly. She wasn't owed money. Nobody stood to gain anything.
No doubt about it, the murderer is insane.
And I fear that we had not heard the last of him.
I hope you're wrong for once.
Bien, let's go back to London. If we hurry, we should catch the 7:02 train. Are you coming?
No, unfortunately, I have to talk with Andover police.
See you soon, then. Are you coming, Hastings? Let's go home. There's nothing for us here.
Well, do you have any idea about the killer's identity?
The
Không biết
crime was
bao
committed by a man
mustache.
of medium height, with red hair and suspicious eyes. He has a slight limp on the right foot and a wart just below his shoulder blade.
Ôi, sao hôm nay biết được
Poirot!
những cái tin tức đấy?
Mon ami, what do you want? You fix upon me a look of dog-like devotion and demand of me a pronouncement à la Sherlock Holmes. Now for the truth. I do not know what the murderer looks like, nor where he lives, nor how to set hands upon him.
What should we do then?
Nothing.
Ông ấy bịa ra một
Nothing?
Do not be so impatient, Hastings.
Description.
The killer will manifest himself soon enough.
I thought I heard the postman. Maybe there's some news.
I will go and see.
read the letter. The letter đây đúng không? Cái letter mà
Daily Flicker, June the 22nd, 1935. Battle over control of bank system. What will the government do for money? Andover, murder of a tobacconist. It is not the right time.
Where's the letter? Đây có thể ở đây chăng?
Andover, Hampshire, population 31,200 inhabitants. No doubt about it. Hastings is going bored.
Oh, hilarious. đây letter đây. No, quay lại đây.
Dear Mr. Poirot, well, what do you think? I believe that I won this round. The end of our affair went like clockwork, don't you feel? But the fun has only just started. I would like to draw your attention to Bexhill-on-Sea on the 25th of this month. We're having a crazy time. Best wishes, ABC.
Nào bây giờ mình sẽ phải
The next crime will be in Bexhill.
ra
We must warn
đọc cái
Jack
quyển
to
sách.
Scotland Yard.
Did the letter indicate anything that might help the police?
To be honest, I think we can already guess something about the next victim. But I need to think about it a little more. And over and...
À,
Let us examine this more closely.
có chữ I này.
Certain characters in the two letters may have similar defects. Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. Yes, this I is weird. However, the characters in the two words do not match. Yes, the I characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. That's right. The A characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Let us examine the characters in this word. Let us examine the characters in this word. The W is not printed properly. Of course, the W characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. My theory was right. These two letters were written with the same typewriter.
Rồi. Cũng không khó lắm.
Both letters were written on the same typewriter and show the same characteristics.
You surprise me, Poirot. You usually ignore material proof.
But there is nothing usual about this case, Hastings. Nothing must be overlooked. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
So, Poirot, have you found something?
Oui, I believe so. But I am afraid it is not enough to stop the murderer. Let us go and see Chief Inspector Japp. I will explain there. To Scotland Yard, please.
Cái này chuyển cảnh lâu quá ha. Kiểu vào mà ông này
Japp appears to be snowed under.
Ông này kiểu không vào mà khách vào mà cũng chả để ý gì khách á.
Japp appears to already be overloaded with work. My news is not going to improve matters. Bonjour, Chief Inspector. I am afraid we have some bad news. I have just received another letter signed ABC. The next crime will be on the 25th in Bexhill-on-Sea.
Are you completely sure it's from the same person?
I have compared the two letters. There is no doubt about it.
I suppose you think he's going to carry out his threats.
I fear so.
Good God, Poirot. Bexhill is very busy at this time of year, and we have no idea who the next victim will be.
I suspect that the name of the second victim will start with B.
What on earth makes you think such a
À,
thing?
nếu mà mình chọn đúng thì
I
mình sẽ
thought
được
about it when I saw the
Hercule
name Asha
Poirot.
clearly written over the shop door of the unfortunate woman who was murdered in Andover last month. When I received a letter mentioning Bexhill, I deduced that the victim, like the town, might have been chosen by alphabetical order.
So, it's an alphabet fiend. I'm going to have a list drawn up of all the people whose name starts with B. I hope there aren't too many of them.
Bien. We should leave you to work, Chief Inspector.
You have a few days to prepare yourself.
Thank you for coming, my friends.
Vụ án vẫn chưa diễn ra ngay chứ. Tại vì là hình như 25 à? 25 thì là mới xảy ra.
Poirot?
Chief Inspector Japp, your call does not bode well.
Indeed, we have just found the body of a young woman on the beach in Bexhill. An ABC was placed on the body.
We'll be there as soon as possible.
Đấy, giá mà nó làm cái kiểu như là ở Sherlock Holmes là bản đồ ấy thì dễ hơn.
Bexhill is a delightful town. It would be nice to come back and visit.
I do not entirely agree. Walking at the beach damages my shoes, and it hurts my knee.
So the years have not spared you, my
Spike
friend.
film.
It's the same for all of us.
That is exactly what I said to myself when I saw you back from your travels.
Poirot.
Do not be offended, Hastings. I can see Japp waiting for us. And from his face, I would say that things are not looking good.
Rồi bây giờ mình sẽ làm gì? Nào. Cảnh đẹp quá ha, mình khá là thích cái kiểu đồ họa như thế này ấy.
How do you do, gentlemen?
Chief Inspector?
I fear your admirer has struck again, Poirot. We haven't yet identified the victim, but it's a young woman, 20 to 25 years old. Death occurred last night between 11:30 and 1 o'clock, and we found an ABC guide on the body.
Was she pretty?
Come on, Poirot, that's rather out of place. It has no bearing on the murder.
Are you certain? For women, it is often the most important thing. It often decides their destiny.
The body hasn't been moved. You can see for yourself.
Has the press been informed?
Not yet, but I'm planning to. I haven't yet informed them about the presence of the ABC guide in Andover.
Nobody has reported a young woman missing?
Not for the moment.
No witnesses, I imagine.
Indeed. We've asked everybody who may have met a young woman fitting her description last night to come and see us, but I have little hope of gaining anything from it.
It's early days, Chief Inspector, and the news may not have spread around the town yet.
I hope you're right, Hastings.
These marks have been left by a rope or a braided cloth.
May mà kiểu xác chết ở trong cái game này nó không quá là
A
ghê ấy.
braided silk belt. It may have belonged to the victim. The guide is open at the page for the Bexhill train times. These marks have been left by a rope or a braided cloth.
Tại sao không đi giày nhỉ? Ủa thế mà
The young woman wasn't wearing shoes or a coat and was not carrying a bag. That's strange.
đúng rồi.
Either the murderer stole her belongings or she put them somewhere safe. Maybe so that she could bath.
Đúng, cũng có thể.
This key is too small to be one for a house. Without a doubt, it is for a padlock.
Gì nữa không?
Apart from the marks on her neck, there are no signs of the struggle. She didn't manage to hit her assailant. The young woman wasn't wearing shoes or a coat. Either the murderer stole her...
Không có dấu chân ở hiện trường à? Từ.
This key is too small.
Rồi, cái này rồi.
She was a great beauty. Strange that chap didn't notice it. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. The poor child must have been strangled with his braided belt. Unfortunately, in view of the fabric, it is unlikely that we will find any prints. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Smoky à? Ồ, ok rồi. Cũng hợp lý.
The medical officer should confirm that the victim was strangled with her own belt.
That's what I thought. She shows the usual signs of strangulation.
With a little luck, we'll find prints this time.
You are too optimistic, Hastings. Our killer is far too meticulous for that.
Bây giờ mình sẽ phải identify the victim mà. Chỗ này có cái gì? Có thể là
This hut is locked. This hut is locked. This hut is locked.
chắc là chìa khóa là nó sẽ mở một trong cửa những cái này à?
There is no doubt about it. Bexhill has one of the most beautiful... There is no doubt about it. This key is too small to be one for a house. Without a doubt, it is for a padlock.
Làm thế nào để có thể identify được người phụ nữ nhỏ với có cái chìa khóa ấy? Ồ, có số 6 này. Đúng không? Từ từ.
A dual locking padlock. I need to find the code and then insert a key. Firstly, I have to enter the padlock's code.
Đúng rồi, bây giờ là chưa có cái padlock code. Bây giờ làm nào để có cái padlock code nhỉ? Ok, từ có thể mình example cái key này chăng? Có thể nó sẽ có một cái gì đấy. Không có. Có thể là 666 chăng?
Firstly, I have to enter the padlock's code. The number is upside down. This is definitely at number 6.
Khả năng tự dưng nó là 9 ấy. Mình rõ ràng là mình đã đếm rất là rõ rồi. Từ có cái gì đây? 7 1 6 à? Hay 715? Ok rồi. 715. Thử nhá. 7 1 5. Rồi. Đây.
It definitely was here that the victim left her belongings. The purse is full. Yet again, we can dismiss theft as the motive for the murder. Here is the watch she must have removed to prevent it from getting wet. A top-brand lipstick. She liked to take care of her appearance. As well as a photo of the victim with some company. It could be useful to me. Betty's first day at work. Mom is very proud of you. Elizabeth Barnard, 7 August 19... So, the young lady did have a name starting with B. and she worked as a ginger cat, an establishment that must be slightly further along the beach.
Jap has gone to the police. The victim has been identified and her family had reported her disappearance. She was called?
Elizabeth Barnard, mainly Betty. She worked as a ginger cat at the cafe slightly further along the beach.
But Poirot, how on earth?
Never mind. Do you have her address?
Yes, she lived with her parents on the street leading to the beach, number 22. Shall we go?
You are far too impatient, Hastings. Let the poor people take in the news first. Let us go and visit the cafe where Betty worked. Bexhill seems to be a pleasant little town. Bexhill is a pretty little seaside resort with elegant architecture, although personally I prefer more modern buildings.
Chỗ này trông đẹp thật. Kiểu đúng là trông nó rất là thanh bình ấy. Thôi, bên này có cái gì?
Could it be the same buildings as on the victim's photo?
À đây, cat đây này.
This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken. This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken.
Quán cà phê ở đây. Nhưng mà làm thế nào để... Đây đây. Game này giải đố thì hay ấy, nhưng mà
I'll be with you in a minute, gentlemen.
kiểu đúng là như kiểu là mình đang đọc một câu chuyện. Nó rất là từ tốn.
This is a well-laid table. Nothing is out of place and, above all, no creases. Something tells me that she's the owner of the ginger cat. This woman must be the owner of the ginger cat.
Yeah, because
Looks like
ginger
something is
là
bothering
kiểu
her.
tóc đỏ ấy, nó hơi orange red.
How can I help you?
A hot chocolate and a tea for my friend, please.
I'll bring it straight away.
I need to know the time range during which Betty was working on her own. Where is Betty? Betty worked from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Would she have been alone at any time during her service? Betty worked from 11... No, this person is not the last one to have worked with Betty. Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve? Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve? No, this person is not the last one to have worked with Betty. No, this person is not the last one to have worked. Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve? These are the different waiting staff's bills. Which ones were written by Betty?
Ồ, lại còn thế nữa.
Most probably a family. This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one.
Từ từ.
Most probably a single man, a whiskey lover. Maybe the murderer? Betty served a family and a man on his own, a whiskey drinker. Maybe the murderer. This information will help me to progress.
What? Gentlemen, what are you doing?
We are searching for clues, mademoiselle. My name is Hercule Poirot. I am a detective, and this is Captain Hastings. Does Betty Barnard work here?
That is correct. She should have been here a while ago. Punctuality is the first rule of politeness.
I fear that Miss Barnard will not be coming today. She has just been found, dead, on the beach a few hundred meters from the cafe.
How awful. Poor young thing.
Trời ơi, nói mà không một cảm xúc cảm xúc trên mặt nó luôn á.
She appears to have been murdered.
This is most distressing. How this will affect my business, I shudder
Đấy,
to think.
tôi biết ngay mà.
Do not be so sure. Miss Barnard's tragic death may be a good advertisement for you.
It makes one despair of human nature. Poor young girl. She was a hard-working and pleasant young woman. I didn't know her that well. She'd only been here for 2 summers. I know that she had a young man. He used to call for her sometimes.
This photo was found. Is this him?
Yes, that's him all right. But I haven't seen him for some time.
Do you think there may have been some problems between
Nếu mà
them?
mình chọn
I'm not
đúng
on
thì
those
sẽ
sort
được
of terms with my staff.
cộng
Now,
điểm.
please excuse me, I have work to do.
Chết rồi, tôi đã chọn nhầm. Có thể là phải chọn cái phương án kia.
The customer who ordered the whiskey might provide us more information. He may have been the last one to see Betty alive.
It is an interesting idea, Hastings. Maybe he is a regular guest. What do you think, mademoiselle?
I don't think so. Our regular guests tend to order tea and cakes. At this time of the year, there are a lot of tourists about you never see again.
That's what I thought. Time to visit Betty's home.
Ồ, tức là mình phải chọn đúng ấy thì mình sẽ được cộng điểm. Ây dồ. Mình gọi là ách quá là hiền ấy.
This is definitely where the photo I found
Rồi,
in the
rồi.
hut was taken.
Rồi, ta biết rồi. Rồi đi thôi. Ở đây.
I think we've gone past the Barnard's house.
Luckily for me, you have an exceptional sense of direction, Hastings. You are a great explorer.
À đây, đúng không?
How do you do, mademoiselle? My name is Hercule Poirot.
I know you. You're that detective we hear all about.
I do not know if that is a compliment, but I will take it as one for now. You are Betty's sister, I believe?
Yes. My name is Megan.
Can we come in?
Please do. My parents are at the police station. I doubt they'll be up to speaking to you later.
Do not worry, we will not bother them.
Did you know your sister's plans for yesterday evening?
No. I arrived by train this morning. My parents called me in a panic when they discovered that Betty had disappeared.
Có đây
She
làm việc
went out
gần nhà
last
nhỉ?
night,
Đi một
but
tí nữa sẽ tới
she
nhà.
didn't tell them where she was going.
What was your last conversation about?
Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother brought her a pair. The very day it happened. She was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
Không biết làm gì.
The Barnard appeared to make music a priority in their budget. Their home is modest, but the Barnards are definitely music lovers. This gramophone is magnificent. It is a one-off, without a doubt. What is she feeling at the moment? Betty's older sister is not just sad, she is angry. Did Betty go out often?
My sister wasn't a child, sir. She used to go out. She enjoyed films, dancing. She was a very good girl who didn't hang around with men. That's what they always say, no?
The pain is making you bitter, Mademoiselle Barnard.
I'm not interested in your compassion, Mr. Poirot.
Très bien, mademoiselle. Could you at least tell me a little about Betty's young man?
His name is Donald
Trời,
Fraser,
tôi đã
a very
bị
nice
fail.
young man. Oh, excuse me, I have to answer that.
But of course.
Betty's room is opposite the stairs on the first floor. Feel free to take a look if you think it might be useful.
This young woman is far too clever not to have anything else for us.
Do you think she's hiding something?
That is what I'm trying to find out.
Surely you don't think she did it?
I did not say anything of the sort. But young women always ruin your judgment, Hastings. Who knows, maybe Megan was jealous of her attractive young sister.
I see. She may have had her sights on the inheritance. Or maybe she was in love with Donald Fraser.
We have to study all scenarios, even the most unlikely. But I doubt that Mr. and Mrs. Barnard are rich enough to justify murder. While I try and get Miss Barnard to talk, I would like you to try and find Donald Fraser. He should be easy to find the estate agents where he works. Bring him to the Ginger Cat. I would like to talk with him before the Chief Inspector finds him. Looking at all the clothes she took out, Betty must have had a problem deciding what to wear. Maybe she had a date? Looking at all the... It looks like Betty was also a music lover, the same as her family. Without a doubt, Betty used to sing. A box of new stockings. It looks like Betty has a very busy life. Betty liked luxury and going out, and being as pretty as she was, she probably did not have any problem getting herself invited. Without a doubt, Betty used to sing. Looking at all the clothes... Something on this cloth. This wooden panel is blocked. What a strange mechanism. I don't think it serves to turn the hands.
Nào, thế bây giờ làm nào?
The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. The cogs are blocked by these... The cogs are blocked. The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. The cogs are The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels.
Này, nó để mở này ra ha.
The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. This metal disc is stuck. There, that's better. This metal disc is stuck. This decoration appears to be firmly fastened. This decoration appears to be firmly fastened. Could the screw be slightly loose? This decoration appears to be firmly fastened. This metal disc is stuck. The cogs are blocked by the...
Làm ra để move mấy cái này à?
The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. The cogs are blocked.
Khó quá ha.
Good. It should be possible to open the wooden panel. Strange. A sheet of paper is... This wooden panel is blocked. Look, a key.
Hả?
This could be useful.
Mẹ ơi, con này nó có nhất thiết là phải bí
This
mật như thế
code
không?
probably has something to do with the mechanism above the clock.
Ồ. 3312. 333. À đây.
This metal disc is stuck. I definitely need an object to make these cogs turn. The central cog is blocked. Ah, something clicked on the front of the clock. A new lock has appeared. What does it open?
Rồi.
This could be useful. Betty, I enjoyed a wonderful evening in your company, and I hope that we will see each other again very soon. D. My dearest Betty, I know that your art is already spoken for, but you are the most beautiful dancer I have ever had the pleasure of meeting, and I am impatient to see you again. Adrian.
Có vẻ cái con này hẹn hò nhiều người cùng một lúc.
This small key should be useful to me. I've finished with this subject. Medicine to prevent voice loss. Did Betty have problems with her voice? Looking at all the clothes.
Vẫn còn đồ trong phòng con này à? Từ từ. Sang bên này. Phải có một chỗ nào đấy để mở chứ nhở?
Betty, I enjoyed a wonderful My dearest Betty. Without a doubt, Betty used to sing.
Cái chìa khóa để làm gì ta? Chìa khóa để làm gì ta? Thử xem cái chìa khóa này là gì nào.
Betty, I enjoyed My dearest Betty, I know that your art is already spoken for, but you are the most beautiful dancer I have ever had the pleasure of meeting, and I am impatient to see you again. Adrian. A record sleeve with an handwritten title. Betty must have recorded the demo. I'd be interested to hear it. Without a doubt, Betty used to sing. Let us see. What is this cupboard hiding? This looks like solfège.
Come on.
This looks like solfège. 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 This looks like I cannot open it. It looks like the mechanism is blocking it. That doesn't work. I must have forgotten a step. That doesn't work. It looks like something goes in here.
What? Cái gì đây?
There is bound to be a clue somewhere.
Một cộng một. À. Ồ, ok rồi. Tức là để ra được cái cuối cùng là cái gì? Cái cuối
There is
cùng.
bound to be a clue somewhere.
Cuối cùng là ra cái này thì nó sẽ bằng 1, 2, 3. Từ hai cái này đúng không? 1, 2, 3. Rồi, dễ. Đúng không? Giờ từ mẹ quên rồi. Một cái này và hai.
There is bound to be a...
Ok rồi. Một cái này. Dễ mà. Rồi.
I heard the sound of a mechanism being triggered. It looks like something goes in here. That doesn't work. I cannot open it. It... I cannot open it. That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Ô, đây. Cái gì 1, 2, 3. Rồi. Phải có cái clue ở đâu đấy. À, từ. 781. Ok rồi. Tricky thật. Có thể là 78Y chăng? Không phải à? Cái gì vậy? À, trang nhắn tin. Mình nghĩ là cái này là hết rồi này. Lạ ha. Không phải. Không đóng được cái này lại nhỉ? Đây, chắc là... Rồi, thì bây giờ là đến cái này. Đúng không? 78T. Trời ơi. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
I just have to put the record on the gramophone and start it. That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Ok, không biết cái này có bị bản quyền không?
Oh, Donald, we're in the middle of recording.
Sorry, Betty, but it's not wise. The doctor said you should rest your voice.
You're such a killjoy sometimes.
Betty was such a good singer.
It's true. Did she have any problem with her throat?
Yes, she had to be careful with her voice. Of course, she didn't follow the doctor's advice. If Don didn't insist, she... Well, it's too late for all that now.
It looks like this woman is single, but she has feelings for someone. She's looking so intensely at this photo. But is it really a sister that she's
Cháu ơi, chả
studying
nhẽ
in
là
this
yêu người
manner?
yêu của em gái. Sao đời éo le vậy?
They made the perfect couple, am I correct?
Yes, in a way. She was pretty and he...
Well?
He's a bright man, with a promising career ahead of him. He would have made Betty a good husband. He was always attentive and generous. Oh, a true gentleman.
Bắt đầu có
I
hơi
hear
fishy
a
rồi
note
đấy.
of envy in your voice.
You must have heard wrong.
Donald appeared
Ui,
to be very much in love with your sister.
Yes, he was mad about her.
Mad, you say? Being madly in love can often be destructive, and Mr. Fraser was known for being jealous, I believe.
No more than average. Men are always slightly possessive, especially when they are with a pretty woman.
Bây giờ mình nên chọn cái nào?
You are a poor liar, Mademoiselle Bernard.
Excuse me, Mr. Poirot, but I do not see why you are interested in our humble
Tính cách
little
của
crime.
Hercule Poirot là như
It
vậy
would
đấy,
appear
rất là
that your sister's
provocative.
murder is the second in a series that we have to stop as quickly as possible. The first was in Andover, and the same as your sister, the murderer sent me a letter informing me that a crime would be committed in that town. Now can I count on your honesty?
Yes, you have my confidence, Mr. Poirot. Don is a quiet and sensitive young man, slightly reserved too, and as is often the case with reserved people, when he flew into a temper, he completely lost control. He could be so violent. Betty was frightened.
And when was this?
The first time was about a year ago, but they rowed more recently. Donald found out that Betty had lied to him. She said she was going out with a girlfriend, but she went out for dinner with a married man. It was an awful scene. She told him that until they were married, she was free to go with whoever she pleased. Donald turned quite pale and started shaking and kept saying one day...
Well?
he'd commit murder.
Thực ra thì nhiều người chỉ nói trong cái lúc mà người ta gọi là gì nhỉ? Bực mình quá ấy. Đâu, cái nào sẽ giống Hercule Poirot nào?
Do you think that is what happened?
No, Mr. Poirot, I don't believe that. You yourself said he may be a recidivist madman. Don loved Betty with all his heart. I can't imagine for one instant that he would hurt her.
Very good, Mademoiselle Bernard. Thank you for your help.
Fraser is at the Ginger Cat. The police haven't spoken to him, but they want to.
Très bien, Hastings. Let's see him now. Au revoir, mademoiselle. My deepest condolences to your parents.
Of course, Mr. Poirot. And don't be too hard on Don. He's more fragile than he looks.
If you say so. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Đấy, tôi đã nghi rồi mà. Nào bây giờ sẽ đi ra question Donald thôi.
You've seen Fraser, Hastings. What is your feeling?
He's a big chap. Fragile isn't exactly the word that springs to mind. I talked to his landlady before seeing him. She went to bed at 11. Fraser wasn't home yet.
Bien. Megan Barnard said he is a reserved character but with a nasty temper. We will see if this is the case.
Nào bây giờ đi. Ở đây mình có thể bấm liên tục để ông ấy đi nhanh. Cút. Nhanh lên, nhanh lên. Nhanh nhẹn lên.
How do you do, Mr. Fraser?
You're Hercule Poirot. Mr. Hastings said you wanted to speak to me.
Yes. I know that it may not be at the right time, but I would like to ask you a few questions. This man looks suspicious.
À, cũng uống whisky.
Leave me alone.
Trời ơi, cái crumple
Donald
clothes là
Fraser
kiểu
is in a terrible
phải
state,
zoom vào
as if
mới
he
thấy.
hadn't slept all night. And he's drinking White Horse.
Leave me alone. Tell me that it's a mistake. That Betty isn't dead.
Sadly, your lady friend has been murdered, Mr. Fraser.
Oh, Betty, if only you'd listened.
If she had listened to you, she would still be alive. Should I take that to be a confession?
With that sort of thinking, you must send a lot of innocent men to prison. Under different circumstances, I might even find you amusing, sir.
It's no time for amusement, Mr. Fraser. It is time to find your fiance's killer. Did you know what her plans were for the evening?
She said she was having dinner with her sister.
And you believed her?
And why not, sir? She was my fiancée.
That did not stop her from lying to you before. Betty was not a bad girl, but she did like to take advantage of her success with men.
How dare you sully her memory?
I am not interested in memories of her, Mr. Fraser. I am looking for a killer, and I need you to be my closest ally. That is, unless you have something to hide.
Of course I don't.
Très bien. So, what were we saying? Where were you yesterday evening?
I looked everywhere for her, but in vain. When she said she was going to have dinner with her sister on a weekday, I thought it was strange. I tried not to think about it, but I was like a lion in a cage. I was convinced she was lying. So I went round all the restaurants in the town. When I didn't find her, I went to the next town. But nothing. I must have got home about midnight or 1 o'clock.
Did anybody see you?
I don't think so. I didn't talk to anybody. I was so furious.
Ah, I knew I'd find you here, Poirot. I thought the victim's young man was here.
Yes, he's all yours, Chief Inspector. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Tại sao mình lại quay trở về crime scene làm cái gì ta? À chắc là để reconstruct.
Fraser doesn't have an alibi and he's extremely jealous.
You are very skilled at summing up.
And yet you haven't asked Japp to arrest him.
It is too soon. But I agree, without the letters announcing the crimes, Fraser would already be behind bars. Bon, I think we have enough elements. Let's reconstruct the events at the scene of the crime.
I can't imagine how the murderer wasn't seen, though. Surely she must have struggled.
Let us try and imagine the scene. The killer and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 6. Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a code. They keep walking. Then she removes her belt.
The murderer moves behind her and then attacks her by surprise. The body falls, lifeless, on the sand.
Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Mình cảm giác như là cái game này trình độ nó hơi dễ quá. Tức là nó không quá là kiểu kịch tính như là Sherlock Holmes. Làm khó quá cũng bị nói, làm dễ quá cũng bị
we might
nói.
have suspected Mr. Asher and Mr. Fraser. But by signing his crimes, the murderer is making sure he's accused. In a way, it is very generous of him.
Generous? The murderer seduced Betty in order to lure her to the beach and kill her.
Indeed, the young woman was certainly careless, but not stupid enough to follow a stranger.
What are you planning to do, Poirot?
Return to London, mon cher Hastings. This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken.
No, chúng đi về London thôi.
Right, back to London. There is nothing more for us to do here.
Jap has decided to reveal details to the press. The alphabet murder is now famous.
It is not a bad idea. The more people who know, the greater our chances of finding out something of interest.
Poirot, I have a bad feeling. Poor Mr. Poirot, not so good at these little criminal matters as you thought yourself, are you? Rather past your prime, perhaps. Let us see if you can do any better this time. This time, it's an easy one. Churston on the 30th. Do try and do something about it. It's a bit dull having it all my own way, you know. Good hunting. Ever yours, ABC.
Bây giờ là đến C. Hay quá
Good
ha.
hunting. Did you hear that, Poirot? The murderer seems to be taking it all as a game, a challenge. He will strike on 30th in Churston. We must warn Scotland Yard.
By the way, Hastings, what day is it?
Well, looking at the calendar, it's the 30th. No time to lose. We must prepare our suitcases for Churston.
Mon Dieu, it is already 10 o'clock. I will call Scotland Yard immediately.
Lúc nãy lẽ ra là mình phải gọi là gì nhở? Tại vì nó có cái lịch ở đấy. Trời ơi, tôi không chịu xem. Bé thế này làm sao mà ai xem được?
Miss Hastings tore the envelope.
Từ bây giờ đi đâu? Call Scotland Yard. Từ. Đâu điện thoại tôi? Hình như là điện thoại tôi ở đằng này.
Hello, chap. We received a new letter from ABC in the 10 o'clock post.
Where and when?
In Churston. Today.
Today? I'll inform the population immediately.
I'll check the train times. Call me back. It is not a good time. Poor Mr. Poirot. Not so good at these little criminal matters as you thought yourself, are you? Rather past your prime, perhaps? Let us see if you can do any better this time. This time it is an easy one. Churston on the 30th. Do try and do something about it. It is a bit dull having it all my own way, you know. Good hunting. Ever yours, ABC. Daily Flicker, July 30, 1935. ABC affair.
Tôi nhanh
In this issue, we are
mình nghĩ cái này nó không ảnh hưởng gì đến
Daily Flicker, July the 20.
Cái này nó không ảnh hưởng gì đến câu chuyện đâu, nó chỉ là mấy cái lặt vặt thôi. Thế bây giờ mình để bức thư ở đâu ấy nhỉ? Ở đây à? Hastings. Ở đây chăng? Không.
Hastings photo album.
Cái này vẩn thôi. Cái này có gì không?
Bexillency, Sussex, population.
Rồi, chẳng có cái gì. Cái này chắc là chỉ để cho vui thôi. Sau khi chơi quá nhiều game thì tôi đã gọi là khôn lên được một tí. Nhưng mà bây giờ compare mấy cái letter đi, mấy cái letter mày để ở đâu? Hay là ở trong này?
Hastings, what you are doing is an absolute disaster. That is no way to pack suitcases.
Heavens, we must hurry. We have to get to Churston before the murder.
You're right, Hastings. It is an emergency.
At last, Poirot, you're being reasonable. Poirot, you were right. I've just consulted the ABC guide. There's no hurry. The next train doesn't leave till 11:45.
You see, there is no need to hurry. We will not be in Churston until tomorrow morning, after the murder.
But why has the murderer warned us so late? It's not what he usually does. Did he do it on purpose?
Very good question, Hastings. We should also compare the letter we have just received with the other two, although I have very little doubt about what we will find.
À đây, phải chỉ vào cái phần
Let
khác.
us compare this new letter with the second one. Let us examine this more closely. Certain characters in the two letters may have similar defects. Yes, this I is weird. Yes, the I characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some... the W... Of course, the W characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some... Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. That's right. The A characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. My theory was right. These two letters were written with the same typewriter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. The letter should have arrived in time. The postmark shows that it was sent 3 days ago. However, our man made a mistake in the address, which explains the delay. All the same, the post office took their time correcting the error.
Come on, Poirot. Your address is not quite as well known as that of Scotland Yard. Poirot, the telephone. It must be Jap.
Ra nào. Ơ,
My theory was right.
đây. Nhấc điện thoại lên.
I have some news from Churchton. Bad news, I'm afraid. Sir Carmichael Clark was murdered while out on his evening walk.
Sir Carmichael Clark. The name is familiar to me.
He was a famous throat specialist, one of the best in London. A wealthy man, he retired to Combside, a beautiful house by the sea. He collected antiques.
Are you going there?
Yes, let's meet on the train.
Từ hình như là mình bắt đầu nhớ lại cái chuyện này rồi. Nhưng mà thôi mình sẽ không nói ra thì nó sẽ là spoil.
The victim is called Sir Carmichael Clark, one of the best throat specialists in London. The body was still warm when we found it. If we'd been warned earlier, we definitely could have saved him.
It appears that the murderer made a mistake when he wrote his letter.
A mistake? Lucky for him.
And what if he did it on purpose?
No. He's defined his madcap rules and he's sticking to them. It's a matter of pride for him. Shall we go up to the house, Poirot?
You go, my friends. I will come soon.
Cảnh cây cối
Jack
đẹp
has
quá ha.
emptied the victim's pockets and has laid out their contents on this piece of wax cloth. It is pointless. An oriental dragon. It's an old piece, much older than the pocket watch on which it was fastened.
Tiền thì vẫn
Nothing
còn.
appears to be missing from this wallet. A signet ring, very probably with the Clark family's coat of arms. An ABC guide. The murderer's customary signature, covered in blood this time. The gravel on the path has been sprayed with blood that covers a conical-shaped area, which starts at the body and becomes wider as it moves further from the bush. Sir Carmichael's throat was cut. It's a clean incision, a professional murder. Apart from the wound to the throat, the body is untouched. No cuts, no bruises. This place is very calming.
Chả hiểu đến đây xem là cái gì trời ơi.
The site is exceptional. It is easy to imagine that Sir Carmichael used to enjoy stopping here every evening. The body is just in front of a bush, one of the only bushes in the surrounding area. The vegetation behind the bush has been trampled. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Sir Carmichael had his back to the bush when the killer cut the throat from behind. A fatal blow that sprayed blood over a range of more than 1 meter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Cảnh đẹp ha.
Have you finished, Poirot?
Chief Inspector, many questions remain unanswered, but I am certain of one thing. The killer has prepared his crime very carefully.
Quite right. He must have known Sir Carmichael's movements well to plan such an attack.
The murderer struck with terrible savagery.
Yes, blood flowed. It's the first time he's attacked a man. He armed himself accordingly.
Have you spoken to the victim's family, Chief Inspector?
I've spoken to the brother, Franklin Clark. I didn't get much out of him. He's yours. I must get the body removed.
Không biết hôm nay có chơi phá đảo được cái này không? Questions the brother victim. Okay, let's go. Tối thứ 5 mà cảm giác như tối thứ 6 mọi người ạ. Kiểu tự đứng ở đây một tí. Tức là kiểu hôm nay mình cũng hơi bị mệt đi, vì hôm nay phải ngồi suy nghĩ dự án rất là nhiều, rồi lên kế hoạch sắp tới ABCZ. Mình về mình cũng kiểu mệt ý, xong mình cũng ngủ, xong rồi kiểu chơi cái này tự dưng như kiểu vào cái zen zone ấy, cảm thấy bình lặng hơn hẳn, như kiểu bị cuốn vào cái cốt truyện này, nó cứ từ từ chậm chậm, nhưng mà nó rất là ngấm ấy. Cái này nó đúng là kiểu style phong cách của Agatha Christie nên mà mình thích ấy. Nó rất là từ tốn, nó không cần phải quá là hành động, nhưng mà giúp cho mình gọi là không cần phải quá là căng thẳng, mà đúng là chơi để giải trí.
To be honest, this inspector seems rather obtuse. I'm counting on your friend Poirot to catch my brother's murderer. Ah, here he is now. Please, Mr. Poirot. Mr. Poirot, this is my brother's secretary, Miss Thora Gray.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Poirot. Would you like some tea?
No, thank you, mademoiselle. I find it hard to digest. Hastings does not like very hot tea. He's going to blow on his cup for a good while before drinking.
Chọn nhầm người.
There is something very viril about him.
Mà thực ra thì hình như là lúc đầu vụ án là cảnh ông này là kiểu viết thư, gửi thư đúng không?
There is something very viril about him.
Gọi là có vẻ, tức là có một cái gì đấy nó rất là fishy ấy, ngay từ đầu ấy. Còn một cái nữa là gì?
There is something very viril about him.
Xui, tôi biết xui. Còn gì nữa không? Môi à?
There is something very viril about him. Franklin Clark is an adventurer, the sort of man that women like. There is something elegant about her. She has good taste, except perhaps in her choice of jewelry.
Please excuse me, I have to take care of Lady Clark.
My brother's wife is gravely ill. You will probably want to question her, but I fear that it won't be possible today.
Nào, bây giờ bây giờ mình sẽ chọn cái nào để giống Hercule Poirot. Từ.
I insist, Mr. Clark. Please allow me to remind you that this is a murder inquiry.
Unfortunately, she is much too ill. She doesn't even know her husband is dead. I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid it's out of the question.
Of course, I understand. Someone set a trap for your brother. Who was familiar with his habits?
Everybody knew he took his evening walk at 8:30, and that he always followed the same path.
Was it a dark night?
It was a new moon. I took a lantern.
So it was you who found the body?
Yes, along with the gardener.
Have you seen any strangers around the house recently?
No. As far as I know, nobody has been near the house.
Miss Clark.
Oh, Lady Clark must have fallen from her chair. I have to help Miss Grey get her up.
Hastings, while our host is gone, let's examine the drawing room.
But, Poirot, a gentleman shouldn't...
I take full responsibility. All you have to do is to leave the drawing room door ajar and let me know if anyone is coming. Dragon, dragon, dragon. Sir Carmichael showed himself to be very consistent in his collection's theme. It is an emperor. His place at the center of the table is probably symbolic.
What is that?
Homeside's private collection, purchases since 1920. The catalogue for Sir Carmichael Clark's collection. A crane? A dragon.
Trời ơi, rất là nhảm ấy, mấy cái này mà cũng gọi là
A turtle.
như kiểu khá là Trung Hoa ấy nhỉ. Xong chưa? A tiger.
A tiger. I'm not going to leave now. Turtle, the dragon, the crane and the tiger. I think I've already seen this motif somewhere. The cardinal points. This book could maybe help me. Each cardinal point is associated with one animal and one color. In the middle sits the imperial dragon, and out of respect, all the others are turned towards him.
Đây. Từ cái này sẽ là đỏ ở phía trên. Đỏ, gì nữa? Đỏ, xanh dương, đen, trắng. Ui 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 ui. Đúng không? Đỏ, xanh dương. Đây có phải xanh dương không? Từ check. À đây không phải là xanh dương. À, ok. Từ từ. Đỏ, xanh dương, đen, trắng. Turn toward him à? Đỏ, xanh dương, đen, trắng. Ok rồi. Thế bây giờ là mà thế còn con nào và con nào nữa? Thế bây giờ là cứ
The position of each motif is correct, but they are not turned the same way as on the table. I think I heard a bang. Could it be this cupboard? This is interesting. Ernest Logan, MD, Brighton Cancer Institute, 201 Dusk Road, Brighton, Sussex. To Sir Carmichael Clark, MD, Comsite Churton, Devon. Brighton, 1935, January the 5th. As a man of science, I owe it to you to be completely frank. Lady Clark, your wife is suffering from a generalized terminal cancer. I confess I didn't suspect anything like that during the first exams. But with the test results I have received today, there is unfortunately no place for doubt. I estimate that Lady Clark's life expectancy is no more than 1 year.
Oh no.
Hospitalization would not help in her case, so I advise you to keep her at home and provide her with as much morphine as required to ease her last moments. Yours sincerely, Ernest Logan. These daggers are only ceremonial weapons. I do not think that the crime weapon is here.
Here's Miss Grey.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Lady Clark's condition requires regular care. I believe you want to ask me a few questions.
Indeed, mademoiselle. This porcelain is remarkable. Is it old?
It's about 3 centuries old, I believe.
Wow.
Wait, let me find the reference.
Được chưa? Sao tìm lâu vậy? À, từ từ.
She appears to be very flustered.
À, chết
She's
rồi.
unable to hide her emotion, and her makeup has been disturbed. I think that this young woman has just been kissed.
Chắc chắn là với ông em rồi. Sau đấy thì
Here. Teapot with black dragon, Gangxi period, end of the 17th century. It is a rare piece with unusual colours.
You have a good knowledge of art history.
Acquired while working with Sir Carmichael. I used to help him manage his collection and choose his new acquisitions.
Did you have a good relationship with your employer?
He treated me well, and I am sorry for his death.
Have you seen any strangers hanging around in the past few days?
No. Nobody has been near Comside.
Tell me what happened last night.
After dinner? Well, I did some sewing, and then I went to bed. I was woken by the telephone at 11. I heard Franklin Clark speaking with the gardener. They left with some lanterns and they found the body.
What are your feelings about Franklin Clark?
What an odd question. Of course I think he's a good man. He's energetic, nice, very sociable.
Miss Grey, if I may be so bold, please do not take offence. My friend has rather unusual methods, but all he wants is to find the murderer.
Yes, I understand. I must rest. Please excuse me.
Earlier, you asked me to watch the living room door for you. I don't wish to be indiscreet, but sometimes a gentleman stumbles upon a secret without intending to.
That is sometimes the case.
And I saw Franklin Clark kissing Miss Grey at the foot of the stairs.
Do you think this is a common occurrence?
No, I saw emotion, intensity. I think it was their first kiss.
Wow.
Well done, mon ami. Well spotted.
However, I don't think I completely understand this business. Why did Sir Carmichael not defend himself? He appeared to have been active and strong.
The murderer did not give him a chance. Let us try and reconstruct the scene. Sir Clark is taking his customary walk. Our killer is hiding behind a bush. The old man walks quietly along the gravel path. Then he turns towards the sea to gaze at it. The killer leaves his hiding place on the right-hand side. He approaches silently over the grass. Then he throws himself on his prey and cuts the poor man's throat. He then lays down the ABC before leaving. Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Easy peasy.
Oh, just a minute. I'm getting dressed.
À, cho ông này giống ông em ha, nhưng mà lại không phải là ông em à? Oh my gosh, vậy là ai?
Mr. Kirst, have you recently returned from Churston?
Yes, indeed I have.
Have you seen the papers? And to think that you might have rubbed shoulders with the killer. Imagine that. Mr. Cust, are you all right? You don't seem well.
My apologies. My throat is burning and my head feels heavy. It's ever since the war, you know. Since my injury, my head has never been the same.
Ủa, mình tưởng là thằng em cơ mà nhở. Tại sao bây giờ lại có thêm một nhân vật mới?
Poirot, it's a pleasure to be with you again after all these years. I looked for a gift to thank you, and I found this propelling pencil.
An authentic collector's item. You spoil me, mon ami.
And you more so by sharing investigations.
Do not underestimate the help you are to me, Hastings. Intellect is not everything. There is also goodwill, and you are not short of that. Later, I will ask you to help me tidy up the room and bring some chairs. Our guest will be here soon.
Ah, is Thora Grey coming?
Naturally. She is a fascinating young woman, n'est-ce pas?
Oh, come on, Poirot. I'm a married man. And Miss Grey has already been courted by Franklin Clark. Poirot, our guests will be here soon. We must prepare ourselves.
I should take advantage of the silence to examine them.
Bà này ăn mặc chưa gì đã ăn mặc kiểu rất là gọi là gì nhỉ, mông má ấy. Thế bây giờ làm nào nhỉ? Từ từ. Không hiểu có cái này làm gì. Observe everybody. Ở đây là mình không bấm được. Hay là mình có phải đi đâu không?
I ought to concentrate on my guests. I should take advantage of the silence to examine them. Franklin Clark always seems at ease, regardless of where he is. Something that's unique to people who travel.
À, phải giữ vào gì? Trời ơi, thằng nào?
The song says, sometimes I love a blonde who comes from Eden by way of Sweden. But I am not sure that this blonde is an angel. Sometimes I love a brunette, sometimes I love a blonde. That's what the song says. Donald is always on edge. Donald Fraser is very nervous at the moment, even if he's trying hard to control himself.
Kiểu bà chị là kiểu nhìn chăm chăm vào cô em, vào gọi là người yêu của em chồng luôn ý. Oh my god.
She appears to have taken more care with her appearance than the last time.
Đúng là hết chị còn em. Tôi khổ tâm quá.
She's looking at Mr. Fraser out of the corner of her eye. Did she make herself beautiful for him? I wish to thank you all for coming. I wanted to bring everyone close to the victims here in order to unmask the murderer.
Get to the point, Mr. Poirot. What do you want from us?
Megan, dear girl, please be patient.
Mr. Poirot, how dare you address me by my first name?
Please excuse me, mademoiselle. What I ask is that you search your memories. The murderer must have left some trace.
Yes, he must have prepared his crimes very carefully.
Tout à fait. He did not get to Bexhill at midnight in order to strangle a young girl whose name by chance starts with P.
Must we go into that?
No, of course. Not if it makes you uncomfortable.
Come on, Mr. Poirot. I imagine we all feel terribly uncomfortable about these murders.
It's true. We've to catch the killer, not be spared the gory details.
Mr. Fraser, please get a grip on yourself.
Well, I want to help you, but I don't remember anything else. Nothing I haven't already said.
And you, Mademoiselle Barnard, did your sister say she was seeing another man?
She never would have told me.
Why would she hide the fact from you?
Betty knew I didn't approve of her behaviour. Her flirting was spoiling any chance she might have had.
Tell me, mademoiselle, what did you talk about with your sister?
Silly things. Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother bought her a brand new pair. The day it happened, she was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
Your sister used to sing, I believe. Did she ever perform in public?
She dreamt about it, but she had a very bad cough. It troubled her greatly. She had to cancel auditions and miss lots of opportunities. A pity.
Yes, she sang well, but that doesn't tell us much about the murderer.
Qui sait? In any case, we now have enough information to draw up a relatively precise psychological profile. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can now surmise without too much risk of error that our adversary is calculative, sure of himself, a seducer, of outstanding intelligence, that he has plenty of self-control, and that he likes railways. It's a good start. Other meetings may be necessary. I hope that you will be able to come back again.
Well, it's just that...
Well, Mademoiselle Drower, do you wish to help us or not?
Oh, Mr. Poirot, don't be so harsh.
It's normal that people helping with this inquiry should be reimbursed. Starting with you, Miss Drower. Please allow me to pay for your train tickets.
Oh, sir, I cannot accept.
But you must. Mademoiselle, I may not be rich, but my brother left a fortune which will be mine.
Mr. Clark, that's very generous of you.
Well, someone has to foot the bill. Mr. Poirot, would it be possible for you to come back to Devon? Lady Clark has expressed a wish to see you. We'll adjust her medicine so she'll not be too drowsy.
But of course, I shall come the day after tomorrow if it is convenient. Thank you all for coming. We will meet again soon.
Không biết là mình chơi được bao nhiêu phần
The
trăm của cái
meeting
này
was
rồi.
most fruitful.
Really?
Hastings, I believe now we have everything we need to find a common point between the victims. Now it is time for us to use our grey matter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Oh,
The first two victims suffered from bad throat, and that was precisely the specialty of the third victim, Dr. Clark.
We have a lead.
It would pay to take a closer look at the medical records of Dr. Clark's patients.
We'll do so during our next visit to Churston.
I will do it myself, mon ami. You must remain in London just in case ABC sends us another letter.
Very well, as you wish. Thank you for coming, Mr. Poirot. Lady Clark is waiting for you in her bedroom on the first floor. Please excuse me, I cannot stay for the interview. I have to take Miss Gray to the station to see our lawyer in Torquay.
Are you going on holiday, mademoiselle?
Not exactly, Mr. Poirot.
Miss Gray very kindly stayed with me to settle my brother's affairs. But naturally, she prefers to find a position in London.
Ah, très bien.
I'll be absent all morning, Mr. Poirot, but the nurse is coming soon. She's to ensure that the dose of medicine doesn't make our patient drowsy.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Have a nice trip, mademoiselle.
rồi. Bàn này bị làm sao này? Sao người lại cứ run rẩy như thế này?
This poor woman is very ill. This woman is suffering. She is in no state to have a conversation.
Mr. Poirot?
My respects, madame.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Have you seen the nurse? She should have been here by now. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ôi, trông
The
bà này.
telephone in the hall is ringing.
Ok. Bà này trông tội quá.
The Clark residence. Detective Hercule Poirot speaking.
How do you do, Mr. Poirot? I'm Lady Clark's nurse. I wanted to let you know that I won't be able to come for her injection today. Might Miss Grey be able to do it?
She has just left, but I will take care of it.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. You'll find the skeleton key to open the medicine cabinet hidden in the lion trophy.
You can count on me. Au revoir, mademoiselle.
Oh, thank you kindly. Goodbye, Mr. Poirot.
Find the skeleton.
It is now the right time.
Được cộng thêm điểm biết ngay mà.
Lady Clark is in pain.
Ok, rồi có thể đi lên sân gác xem là như thế nào. Mình phải tìm cái skeleton, đúng không? Phải tìm skeleton keys.
Lady Clark is in pain. I have to give her an injection of morphine to ease her suffering. It's closed. Lady Clark is... It's closed. Lady Clark is in... Lady Clark is in pain. It's closed.
Please tell the nurse to hurry.
Thế ở tầng dưới mình quên hay sao?
I am not going to leave. Lady Clark is in... Lady Clark is in pain. I do not need to make a telephone call. It is now the right... Lady Clark is in pain.
Thế ra bây giờ phải... mình đang phải tiêm cho bà kia. À, ôi giời ơi.
Here is the skeleton key.
Nó ở phía bên này của cái bản đồ.
Ah, Mr. Poirot. Oh, I feel better now. Thank you for your help.
You asked for me, chère madame.
Yes. Yes, of course, I wish to speak with you. But what was it about?
No doubt. You wish to talk to me about what happened to your husband?
Ah, yes. Oh, poor Carmichael. Has the madman who killed him been caught?
Not yet, chère madame. There was a great many people in Cheston on the day of the murder.
Indeed. People go straight to the beach. They don't come near Coomside.
So, there were no strangers around the house that day?
Who said that?
The people who live here. Your brother-in-law, Miss Gray.
Miss Gray? Oh, I don't like her. Franklin wanted her to stay, but I insisted she should go. Immediately.
You are entitled to do so, naturally.
I'm pleased that you approve. The others have been taken in by her. But at least you can see through that self-pity act. See what she's up to. Oh.
Thôi, mình nghĩ là mình sẽ dừng ở đây và chơi tiếp vào một buổi sau. Có thể là hôm nay là chơi hết phá đảo là hơi bị khó đấy. Mình chơi cũng đã lâu rồi. Ok. Để xem chơi được bao nhiêu % rồi này. Mình cũng không biết là game này chơi. Ồ, được 60% rồi. Không biết mấy cái profile này để làm gì. Xem bonus là gì không nào. Ok, rồi. Em gặp lại mọi người vào buổi lần sau nha. Đây mọi người có thấy là mình đã down rất nhiều Sherlock Holmes game về. Ok, bye bye cả nhà nha. See ya.